Hi, Bruno. Welcome to the 100x show.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
As you know, at Token Metrics, we are one of the big fans of Remark. I think some of the innovation you guys are doing is brilliant with regards to next generation and NFT and metaverse. So before we delve deeper, in your own words, I just wanted you to give me an overview of what is Remark. Is it a metaverse? Is it an NFT marketplace? Is it next generation NFT toolkit for developers, or is it all of the above? So I just wanted to your take on it.
Yeah, it is all of the above. Remark is a set of standards for the most advanced NFTs in the world, but it's also the for-profit commercial entity that is maintaining these standards, and also um, it is like home to the open source repository about these standards and all the tools related to them. So it is all of the above. It is not the marketplace. The marketplace is singular, and that is just an application, a product maintained by the Remark team. There are other marketplaces as well that use the Remark protocol, Remark standards, but we, like Remark itself, is a team developing an open source standard and protocol and building for profit and open source tools and applications on top of that protocol.
So just to elaborate on this, so for example, one of the partnerships you will have in the future will be of Unique with Unique Network, and basically their business model is to basically provide toolkit to for anybody to make their own marketplace. So how would you be partnering up with Unique Network? How are they going to incorporate RMRK? Are they going to incorporate RMRK based NFTs, or would they be incorporating some of the standards and use it for their marketplace?
They will be integrating our palettes, so our Rust modules, so that their chain can support these advanced NFT types from the get-go. So they have like an essential, like a basic NFT structure in place with some advantages that go beyond what's possible in other chains already. But by adding Remark palettes, they will further increase the offering that they have for the users and make their environment more awesome. And then, so what they're doing is they're just utilizing our technology, and it's going to be more a symbiosis. Like we are going to be hooking into Unique and allowing people to use our singular application to buy and trade unique NFTs, whereas they will be also using our technology to actually offer these advanced NFTs in the first place. Specifically, how it's going to play out, it remains to be seen. But we are working closely together, and we are, aligned on growing together.
Brilliant. Um, so for me, like Remark is bringing different combination of different innovations, right? So if you have seen, like I've seen your video, it was amazing, and you kind of sold me on the ideas of nested NFTs, on-chain emotes, multi-resource NFTs, conditional rendering, and NFTs as DAO. So I would like you to basically break down all of these key innovations and how all of these key innovations in combination could be perhaps game changer for your upcoming metaverse.
Sure. So we have a system of five elemental like NFT Legos, where one is NFT nested NFTs, where NFTs can own other NFTs. It's as simple as it sounds. Instead of having to send to another account, to another address, you can also send an NFT to another NFT, and that's it. Um, some NFTs can also equip other NFTs. This is where we have introduced a special entity called a base, and a base is like a catalog of parts that can compose a graphical NFT or another media type NFT, like a musical or a video NFT. But it has defined certain like slots, which are named positions into which you can insert other NFTs. And then the final output will be different from what you would expect. So you can equip a Jedi NFT with a green lightsaber, and then he will hold a green lightsaber. But if you equip a different color crystal into that lightsaber, then that lightsaber's color will change. Um, that is one thing. The other Lego is multi-resource NFTs, where a single NFT can have multiple resources. So this is not an NFT containing other NFTs. This is an NFT being shown to users, being consumed in different ways, depending on where it's consumed, how it's consumed. So if you have an NFT that's an ebook, which is the example that I keep listing, then that NFT will be loaded as a PDF in Kindle. But if you load that same NFT in Audible, it will play if it has an audio resource. These two Legos and all other Legos can be combined so that you have multi-resource nested NFTs. And these two Legos alone are enough to actually facilitate the most advanced NFT metaverse to begin with. And there are three more Legos there, which are on-chain emotes, where you can send reactions to people's NFTs. Thumbs up, thumbs down, poop emoji, whatever. This is good for price discovery. This is a great gamification and price discovery mechanism. There's also conditional rendering, where you can tell the NFT to switch a resource or change some variable of it depending on some value. So you would say something like, if your Jedi NFT has a green lightsaber, uh, and then you can put in conditional rendering logic that says, if this Jedi, if this Jedi's alignment is below 0, which means he's evil, then switch the color of the lightsaber to red. And so the NFTs can facilitate this. And the final Lego is NFTs as DAOs, which sounds overinflated. What it is basically you can have shares of an NFT, like shared ownership, and then people will collectively decide what that NFT does. So if I have a flag in my lightsaber of the Jedi that says lightsaber on or off, if I alone own that NFT, I can switch it on or off. But if it's NFT as a DAO, if it's tokenized to be shared ownership, then it has to be a collective decision to turn the lightsaber on or off. So everybody's going to vote, and the majority wins. And this is how you can put together all of these NFTs into one coherent whole. The problem with every single metaverse today is that, and every single one of them does this. Every one of them kind of fails the metaverse vision because of this. Is they put your NFTs into the game, into the metaverse, by reading your wallet and then importing a custom asset into the game itself, so that when the green checkmark comes and says, yes, this person does have this NFT, that game itself tells your browser or whatever, okay, render this asset for this user. This is not the metaverse of NFTs. This is a multiplayer game. There should be a clear distinction. If I am a Jedi in a specific game, then I cannot be a Jedi in another game at the same time, in another location. So an NFT should only be usable. This is the digital scarcity that we're talking about. An NFT should only be usable in one location at one single time. Otherwise, if you just log into Decentraland with a super cool 500 ETH hat from Snoop Dogg, you can sell that hat while you're playing Decentraland with that hat, and that hat will stay on you. This is not the metaverse. So this is just mirroring assets and reading from a database that says, yes, this person can use this asset. But when you have real nested NFTs with multiple resources, not only do you have different resources for different use cases. So, like, I have a 2D illustration of Snoop Dogg's hat and then a 3D model, which I can actually use in a metaverse. And both of those are part of one NFT. So it's not bound to the metaverse, it's bound to my NFT. But also, I can only send that hat to my character. So this is the nested NFT logic. My hat will only be in one character at any given time. If I send it to anybody else, my character no longer has it. And this is crucial for a real, honest metaverse ecosystem.
Yeah, that's an amazing overview. So this brings me to like two follow-up questions. So I'll just do it one by one. So my first follow-up question is: you mentioned with on-chain emotes, there is an element of price discovery. So that makes me kind of wonder, like, who do you kind of at the moment within, at least on the NFT side, see your biggest competitors? So, for example, Affinity, they are also kind of working on some of the standards that will allow price discoveries through different mechanisms. Uh, do you reckon, like, in your opinion, do you think that will be your biggest competitor, or who will in the future emerge as your biggest competitor, at least within this space?
Um, I don't know about competition. No team is really qualified to do what we're doing. For Efinity, I have no idea what they're doing because their code is not exactly open, and so they keep talking about some sort of paratoken standard, which I'm not entirely clear on. We are not sure what they're doing. What we do know is that they've been keeping an eye on us, so we can expect, but they have not reached out or returned our calls. So we can expect some sort of mirroring of functionality, but this is not something that we're worried about. Um, Ultimately, it's all about UX on top of this technology. If our experiments have helped others develop the same technology, um, this would short term maybe be harmful to us, but long term it will benefit the entire NFT ecosystem as a whole. And I think we've already proven that nobody can match our user experience design on top of these protocols. So even if our standards, which have been in production for now almost a year, don't win, which I don't see happening, we will win with the UX being built on top of all of this. So I don't really see a lot of competition here. We would, however, like to work with as many of these projects as possible because, from our analysis of looking at the other ones that are trying to do something similar, they all box themselves into the same problem, and that is their NFTs are only compatible with their project, their one single product that they're trying to launch. And this is not good because they will again be reduced to the lowest common denominator when going to other, for example, EVM based marketplaces and so on. So, unless you go with a really extensible standard that is generalized enough to build any system, you will again box yourself into not so extensible, not so rich ecosystem later on. So we would really like to work with others, to help them adopt this nestable multi-resource future so that everybody's NFTs can benefit from this. We already have plans with our metaverse to breach into other metaverses that are compatible with Remark 2, so that we can share avatars, share item economies, and even use items from other universes as base resources in ours and vice versa. So if you have some junk from another metaverse, you can just take it apart in Canaria Skybreach, use it as raw resources to craft something new that is now relevant and valuable. This is not something that anybody else is doing, and not something that anybody else will probably do well if they try, because we have a 1 year head start on thinking about generalization and just making this as abstract as possible so that it can accommodate as many use cases as possible.
Yeah, that's great insight. And you have touched this point a couple of times before mentioning when we were discussing metaverse, and now you just mentioned Canada Skybreach. So maybe you can, now it's the perfect time. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more about Canada Skybridge and what are you ambitious for that and for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, so Skybreach is our metaverse play, but it's different from all the other ones that are going 3D and in the browser, because we want to aim for quality and casual reach. Um, all of the other current metaverses are really focusing hard on Web3 and crypto natives, or in the best case, gamers. This is good. Gamers are great. I'm a gamer and I enjoy these metaverses, but that's me. Um, you know, 95% of my relatives and family and friends are not going to be able to enjoy this because they're not comfortable moving with WASD. They're not comfortable moving in 3D space with the mouse. They get nauseous by trying to look around with the cursor, let alone putting on a VR headset. And so for these casual users, there needs to be an alternative. And this is what we're working on. Something more reminiscent of, Stardew Valley type games than 3D metaverses and Minecraft. So we are going for the casual audience and a hyper extensible world, which will evolve with the community around it, um, with an added element, which again nobody else has, I think, of world governance, where the inhabitants of this world will decide on what happens long term with this world, which new avatars and items are accepted in it, how it evolves, whether or not to completely destroy a piece of land, and all the other interesting things that you can do when you have collective control over an entire world that is being built. So we intend to build this out and make it a playable thing. But from then on, I hope that we will build it in a way that is extensible enough for us to be almost completely hands off and leave it up to the community. And the game itself should be able to finance, through world governance, extra developments. So if a new piece of logic is needed, then the game's treasury should be able to fund a team to build this, and the same world governance should be able to vote these new features into existence in this metaverse.
Yeah, that sounds very interesting. So personally, for me, I think whatever metaverse we do end up having, or maybe there is more than one. Maybe we live in a multiverse kind of a universe. Uh, I think for crypto native people, the best value accrual of that metaverse will happen through the in like within the metaverse, what kind of economy do we have? So, can you kind of just walk us through the utility of Remark token and also the utility of Canary Birds within the Sky Breach metaverse? What do you have in vision? And maybe perhaps, let's say, you're sitting right now, but not just like next couple of years, maybe down the line, next 10 years, if your vision kind of fulfills.
Sure. So Canaria are the original citizens of this world. They are the ones who hold the ability to cast votes in this world governance, and their votes are augmented by the remark holdings on those birds. So the birds, whatever balance of remark they have, this is how much their vote is worth. There are some balancing formulas applied to this so that whales don't end up completely ruling the ecosystem, but it is very much you have as much vote in this world as much as staked you are in this world. That's how much of a vote you have. So the goal is to have um, people have a lot to gain but also a lot to lose by actively participating and locking their value in this game. um, Other than that, the Remark token will be used as a currency in all things in this metaverse, from land sales to everything else that you will be able to buy for the metaverse. Services in the game, from NPCs or player characters, um, to any kind of marketplace items that are being developed, built, crafted, and as well as skills, like new recipes for crafting. Everything, all of this will be trainable, buyable in Skybridge for Remark tokens. Remark tokens are the primary currency. Remark tokens are also staked so that you can get what we call a mining license, where the more you stake, the more efficient your mining license is, and the more raw resources you can extract out of the ground in certain locations that can be then used to craft items and create new. Basically, you become the raw ore provider for other crafters, or you can craft yourself and sell those items on the open market. These items then, in turn, further provide additional boosts in various gameplay mechanics to other birds or your own other birds and so on, because you can simultaneously manage multiple avatars if you wish. So this is the overarching plan for Remark in the game. There are some other utilities, but we will try to keep adding them as time goes on. We did not flesh them out completely, and we don't intend to have a moment when we stop and say, okay, this is all the utility. We'll keep adding that in. um, Long term, I intend to have this as a game that um, can accommodate everybody in some regard, whatever they feel like playing at the moment. So if you feel like sitting down for a game of poker with fellow remarkables, sit down for a game of poker with your fellow remarkables in a special room, where in a special casino in this metaverse. If you feel like having a race through the clouds on a hoverboard, go for it. If you feel like building a huge house together with other people, go for it. So it should be extensible. It should be a sprawling universe where everybody can use the land that they own for anything they want. If they want to plaster with advertisements, fine. If they want to harbor tax it, fine. If they want to build buildings on it, fine. Or if they just want to stand there, also fine, and dance at people. It's generally it's just up to you what you want to do with it. But our challenge is developing this in a way that it really is that extensible, so that we as a team are not needed for this game to function. So if we die, the game lives. That's the end goal. So my long-term goal is to make a truly eternal metaverse and have people who have avatars for this metaverse own their experience from this game so that they don't lose it if we disappear.
Yeah, that's a great vision, and I can also vouch for it in terms of token allocation. We are reviewing like hundreds of projects a month, and one of the reasons why I liked Remark was the token allocation was very fair. I believe only 5%, even less than 5%, was given to VCs to kind of raise fund, and majority of the money
No, no, no,
was
no.
not even okay.
5% was kept for the team, and this is vested for 2 years. Everything else was given to everybody who bought our NFTs, which were our fundraise. So you would buy NFTs for a fundraise.
So
Nobody
no
got
VCs were involved.
the VCs could have been they were involved, but they were buying eggs alongside everybody else. So
Okay.
nobody got a special price, nobody got a discount, nobody was treated unfairly. Whatever was on offer at the time, that's how people bought it. So sure, some people bought it cheaper because KSM dropped and we were selling eggs in KSM. Some people bought it at the top of KSM at $600. Um, in any case, even those who bought it at the most expensive price got at least a 10x on their return in the last 2 months. So I think everybody's pretty happy with how it played out. Um, Obviously, it is a little bit painful to just watch from the sidelines, watch millionaires be made. Um, so it would be maybe good to have more in our treasury so that we can last longer, but in a way that's also just incentive to keep doing awesome stuff so that we actually make that 5% as valuable as possible.
Yep, that's great, and yeah, I love the ethos. Yeah, so when we were discussing about the utility of token, like one of the things that got me excited was your ability to convert NFTs as DAOs, and Remark token playing a part in it. So maybe I was too excited about it. Maybe I'm seeing that in next couple of years, DAOs will become a very important theme, and a lot of organization will be structured as DAOs. So can you also like give us like an overview of how that mechanism can also play in the metaverse, and maybe help clarify it for our audience and for myself?
Yeah, sure, sure. So one of the parts of this DAOification of NFTs, you don't want people flooding the entire ecosystem with just generally shitcoins. So if like if you mint like a garbage orange square as an NFT, there's no point in somebody turning that into 10 million NFTs, 10 million fungible tokens that people can own. Um, that I don't want to support that. So in order to turn an NFT into shares, you have to stake some Remark tokens that are locked for as long as that NFT is shared. So if you ever collect all the fragments, all the shares of that NFT together, then you can merge them into one piece again and unlock your Remark tokens. But if you don't, you should probably consider those Remark tokens lost forever. And all it takes is for one person with your share to burn a single token, and you can never get that Remark back because you can never get to 100% again. So we expect there to be a lot of deflation of Remark there that way, because a lot of Remark will be lost this way. All it takes is one single careless person to lose their private keys, and the token is gone, right? But also this is useful to protect against spam, just junk tokens being made from every single NFT out there. And also it allows people to collectively govern these NFTs, which really comes in handy when you need to vote on very localized things. So if you have like a piece of land that people own collectively, and somebody wants to deploy their billboard advertisement on it, the people will decide whether or not they will allow this to happen. If you have something like um, maybe a building that needs to be renovated and people co-own it in this metaverse. um, they all need to agree on this expense that needs to come from somewhere, that needs to pay somebody to renew, to regenerate this. And so this is where shared ownership of these NFTs really kicks into next gear. Of course, you could also use it for whatever it's used for right now on other blockchains, mainly gambling. So if you just want exposure to a very expensive NFT, you can fractionalize that and gamble with the tokens. Perfectly fine. That's what it's there for right now. Um, but I'm personally more excited about this collective governance over NFTs that have additional functionality, because now you finally get um, this system of cooperatives, but applied to a ton of different assets in a parallel universe where everybody, has the same opportunity to join it. So this is kind of like, this is kind of my guiding star there.
Yeah, yeah. I also love that vision. And for our audience, I'm going to drop that 1.5, 2 minutes video you have of how those NFT Legos can be used for monetizing for the community. I thought it was a very brilliant idea. It kind of sold me into of the idea of how Remark ecosystem is going to play out. So we did. You did mention earlier about some of the partnership, let's say with Unique Network. Let's just explore your various partnership with different other protocols within Kusama and Polkadot. So I saw your Canaria Skybridge will be built on Moonriver. So how that partnership would work out. You also have various partnership with BitCountry, Karura, Zeitgeist, and so on and so forth. So can you elaborate on how some of these partnership will help you kind of expand and get Remark out there?
Yeah. So the land sale will happen on Moon River. We're not sure about Skybridge itself. We're evaluating technologies and looking at platforms. There are some promising approaches there. Fala has this decentralized fat contract, they call it, basically like a computational engine that happens in the nodes that you can use to run your backend on the blockchain. And if this works out the way I would like it to, this is our ticket to decentralizing the infrastructure, the server infrastructure of Skybridge, which means that we could potentially disappear from maintaining it. And then all we need to do is disappear from building it later on. Um, so on Moonriver, we will have the land sale. BitCountry, they're building a 3D metaverse, which is not our target audience, but we will still have a strong presence there. So we do want to give our remarkable fans a place to hang out and to chat and to explore way before Skybridge is a thing. And we are fully aware that 2.5D graphics may not be everybody's cup of tea. So it only makes sense to cover as much ground as you can. So we want to support BitCountry with their 3D plans, and we will be building in BitCountry as well. However, we also have plans with them to integrate Remark palettes, so these Rust plugins into their chain. And so, in theory, BitCountry should be able to support remark-based NFTs, which means that they should be able to support advanced NFTs that go well beyond ERC 721, and in turn support moving assets from Skybridge into BitCountry and other metaverses that support Remark. So, in theory, you should be able to have a beautiful picture of Snoop Dogg's hat, a pixel version of that same hat that you can equip onto your Canaria in Skybridge, and also a 3D version of that hat on the same NFT. So this is multi-resource NFTs on the same NFT that can be rendered in BitCountry and equipped on your avatar there. And you should be able to send this NFT from one to the other very, very easily, which is when this multi-resource functionality triggers. So the NFT recognizes that it's in a 3D environment, so it loads the 3D model and becomes equipable on the characters.
I guess there was one more partnership. I think with Zeitgeist. It's I think it's a prediction
Yeah.
market. So how's that gonna?
Yeah, so
And one
there's
more, yeah, yeah.
there's a bunch of chains that we've partnered up with in terms of their crowd loan promotions. So they needed help getting a lot of attention to their crowd loan, so getting people to contribute. And what we've done is, and we also needed exposure, and we also needed to grow our item base. And so this was like a very, very symbiotic relationship with all of them, where they encouraged people to buy our NFTs. We encouraged people to contribute to their crowd loans. Everybody who did got an item that they could equip onto Canaria, and that will be in turn compatible with not only Skybreach but also those chains. Um, there are no partnerships in terms of Skybreach per se with these chains yet. We may develop some, but the partnerships with them are more in line with here is a an item that if a person has, they can equip it onto the bird and the bird looks cool. But also, if you on your chain detect that somebody has this NFT, you should give them some perks. And all of our partners kind of promised that they would do this, but we cannot provide this for them yet because we are not on contracts or pallets yet. So as soon as this happens and we have an MVP out in January, then the chains will start integrating this, and you can expect to see some bonuses on the chains that will honor this promise to their crowd loaners. So ideas were thrown around like on Karura, if you get into the chain with an account that has the NFT from the Karura partnership, you would get a boost to your liquidity farming, to your liquidity providing, um, stuff like that. So these items are useful for Canaria and for Remark and for Skybreach, but also have a benefit in these respective chains from which these partnerships have come.
Yeah, yeah, that's interesting. So the way I'm kind of seeing the future of metaverse is that, as I said earlier, it will be multiverse, and this kind of plays into the hand of Kasama and Polkadot since you have a multi-chain architecture. So, do you kind of see going forward that there will be collaborations and partnership where, let's say, like whatever happens within Skybridge, for example, users and players can transfer assets to other multiverse and kind of engage with that metaverse. So, do you kind of have that vision in mind? And do you kind of like some of the project? Do you kind of see kind of collaborating in this way within Kusama and Polkadot, in your opinion?
Yes, this is very much essential. At the core of Skybreach and of Remark is ownership of experience, so that whatever you accomplish with a certain avatar in a certain virtual location stays with you. Your experience is not imprisoned in the server of a metaverse, of a multiplayer game, which when it disappears takes your experience and everything you've accomplished with it. The metaverse is more than just having an NFT in your wallet and using it as an access token to a multiplayer game. The metaverse is collecting, growing your character, growing your avatar, growing your reputation with actions, experiences, skills, levels, everything that you've come to know from games, but applied across the board, not just game like. So um, if I have a special pass to access the block, the newspaper organization, their HQ in Decentraland, then I will get a key card that lets me access their virtual HQ in Decentraland. This key card should not be just an NFT that you can throw around and get into that location with and then sell it. This keycard should be a key part of your avatar. That clearance level should be applied to you, to your persona, to your avatar. And this improves your avatar's entire value. So your character grows by collecting these experiences, these permissions, these items, whether or not they're game related. Everything you do with your avatar becomes part of your um, basically online life. We've had this before. We've had this with Second Life and other projects, but we've never had it owned. You've had this on World of Warcraft where you were grinding until level 99, and then you would have a bunch of epic gear, and then what? You wait for an expansion pack. No more. With this, you own your avatar. You take it out of the game. You take it elsewhere. And every metaverse, every project that supports Remark 2 NFTs will automatically be compatible with all of this. So even if Skybreach doesn't exist, just loses all of its players in 2 years or something, everything you've done in Skybreach will be visible, readable, and usable in any other metaverse, in any other project, any other game that is compatible with Remark 2 NFTs without any customizations needed, without anything developed for it specifically. This is the key advantage of Remark. Once you support the 5 elementary Legos, you support everything that can be built on top of them.
So Canary Birds is made with Remark 2.0 in mind. So is it safe to assume, like, let's say if some of the investors who own this bird, even if they don't like Skybreach Metaverse, they can use the bird as an avatar in some other metaverse and just play around with it?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Now, they would need to have a different resource for the multi resource to kick in. So, if you were to use the bird in a 3D metaverse, you would actually have to develop a 3D version of the bird, add that resource to your NFT, and then it can be used in a 3D metaverse. So, you would grow your NFT, you would make it compatible with another project, but this compatibility layer then stays with it. And this 3D model can then be used in any other 3D metaverse as well. So yes, they absolutely could.
Amazing. So the way I kind of see Remark, it's a very ambitious project, and so far I've enjoyed kind of some of the innovation you guys have brought in. So in your opinion, what do you think would be some of the biggest challenges or risk you see for Remark, since you're basically I would say going for the jugular, like you kind of envision NFTs more than JPEGs. So it's very ambitious. So in your view, what are some of the challenges you'll see at the moment, and what you can perhaps see in the future?
Um, well, a big challenge. I mean, just for us, the biggest challenge is just manpower. Really, we just can't find good, passionate people to hire fast enough. And so we our ambitions are growing much faster than our team, and we would really like to be shipping even faster. Even though we are currently shipping much faster than most other projects, we would love to be shipping even faster. Our backlog is significant. Um, we have so much stuff that we want to ship and build, and every one of us is extremely passionate about the space and has his own ideas and what these Legos could compose. But it's just been a hiring nightmare. Other than that, I don't see really any other challenges. Just I mean, we do suck at marketing. So community acquisition is something that we really, that's a challenge for sure. But concrete, actionable obstacles, other than just hiring people, I don't see any. It's just a matter of time until, like I always say, like within 3 years, every single NFT on the planet will be using Remark or a clone of Remark, just because nothing else makes sense. So even the most popular NFT project in the world right now, which is either Bored Apes or most recently Artifact, which was acquired by Nike. Um, Even they are building these avatars that are supposed to be compatible with the 3D metaverse. How do they do it? They make you request a separate 3D model that you can import into the game. Again, not part of the NFT. So once this is properly out and about and people know about it, no other NFT is going to be using the ERC 721 stuff. It just doesn't make sense anymore. It's like programming on Bitcoin in the age of Ethereum. Just doesn't make sense.
Amazing. Yeah, our video will go out to about 105,000 YouTube subscribers. So maybe if some of our listeners are kind of listening to this, maybe they can hit up Bruno with regards to either if they are a builder or they're into marketing, they can hit you up with uh, regards to some of the job opportunities.
Yeah, we
Uh,
have we have a lot of room for ambassadors. So if anybody wants to join us, to like just get in on some early alpha, test some features, read some announcements before they're announced, and give us feedback on ideas and everything, and participate more actively in developing the project. We have room for ambassadors that can show some skill. So please get in touch.
Bruno, it was amazing. This conversation was amazing. So before we conclude, do you have anything, or do you want to add something that we might have missed, or any final remarks? No pun intended.
Final remarks. So I would say, if like this is something I also repeat frequently. Like if you have any ideas in the Web3 space, if you have any ambitions, and if you keep dreaming about, I wish I could start this and that, um, stop that and just launch. Don't overthink it. Don't plan. Don't buy a domain and think about the name for 4 months and then think about the logo for 2 months. Just ship. He who ships wins. I used to do the former, so I used to think a lot, and then I would log into Twitter and see somebody else build my idea many, many times. Don't do it. Just ship, just launch. Remark started that way. I just started with an idea, built a landing page, launched it, and then it evolved from there. So don't be shy, be ambitious, be hungry, bite hard and get after it. So if you want to join the most exciting project in the NFT ecosystem, get in touch.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing advice. Yeah, for me, the key takeaway I have with regards to this podcast is that I love the ethos of what Remark is doing. So, for example, when Decentraland was making the metaverse, 40% of the token went to VCs. In this case, everything went to the community. Majority of it went to the community. And even with this conversation, you guys can kind of see that the focus is on building and focus is on the vision and kind of making the space better than it was day before. So for me, the main takeaway is that this project has amazing ethos, and yeah, thank you, Bruno, for being with us today. It was great pleasure to have you with us.